frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. When the clock hits 12, you know where to be. Turn it up, Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. When the clock hits 12, you know where to be. Turn it up.
Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And once the clock struck 12, On Target program is here. And you can pick up the telephone immediately and participate, make your contribution, subscribe to Real FM, share, like our program. That's a little blight you can give us to help us to grow. And this morning we're back with you again, and as usual, we encourage people to make contributions. You don't have to agree with us. No preamble. Just pick up the telephone and punch. This is an exciting time for people who want to participate on talk shows. So much issues in the world, from Ukraine and Russia to United States going in about 3 hours, picking up Maduro, a man who had Chinese and Russian surveillance, and they were not even able to fire a gun. Now it appears that Donald Trump have his legal tangle because you're trying to use U.S. law. Your opponent is going to use your own law against you. And a number of Venezuelans are celebrating. And I have no tear to shed for Maduro. Maduro has been a bully that has been creating terror for his own people. The information is outside there. I don't know to what extent you believe the information, but Maduro had over 36,000 victims that he was accused of torturing over the years. Over 18,000 political detainees. Nearly 500 persons killed in protests. 7 to 8 million people flee the country. Over 400 media house was silenced. 90% poverty. 50% extreme. The minimum wage was about $3 US. Maduro was sitting on the most oil in the world. But these guys get trapped with ideology. The communist ideology done good. Once you have the left wing, they jail people. All who disagree with them, they want to send them in jail. From China to Russia to Cuba to Venezuela. They shut down the press. And even if the intention was good, there is no check and balances. Communism do good. The progressive socialists done good. Left wing done good. They don't believe in God. They don't respect the individual rights of the people. They shut down the media. This is not an ideology you want in your country. We had a taste of Marxist, Leninist, progressive, socialist, left-wing ideology between 1979 and 1983. 5% of the people was in jail. They kill people. They rape people. They jail Rastaman. They castrate people. This is not a good ideology. The number to call is 442-0175. We on Real FM 91.9, 91.5, and we on We Noise FM 94.9 in Brooklyn, New York. Pick up the telephone and punch. I believe that in a democracy, a people deserve the government they have. You have an opportunity to choose a government. Choose a good government. Choose leaders that is not hiding their ideology. Anytime you have a leader and you're asking questions and you see they hiding and ducking, that leader do good. They have things they can't tell you. If they tell you, you would not vote for them. They would not say that if I disagree with you, you're going to jail me. Francis Pierre wouldn't vote for somebody like that because they go jail me. They would not say they're going to close down the media house. And in a small society like ours, when they start sending people to jail, they send your family members to jail. And people start to run. 8 million people running from Venezuela. Well, who are those running? Those between 20 and 35, 40. That is your energy. Those that more likely to get a job in another country. And then your social, there will be social decadence. How you training your doctors and your nurse, they're running. After a time, they have to prevent people from going. Why? It is not necessary. If you leaders have a good story that is in your interest, well, all they have to do is to tell you. Why they can't tell you? Because the story done good. And the story is not in your interest. The communist story done good. And we must start to question these communist individuals who want to lead us. We must start to question them. Otherwise, hell rule, you know. You can't blame them. When your country start to deteriorate, you can't blame them. In the Caribbean, the United States, England, Europe is the country that people naturally gravitate to because they believe they have an opportunity. That's all. If you break the law, well, you know you're going to be in problem. But you don't have to break the law in a communist country. You just have to be suspected of disagreeing with them, and you're likely to end up in jail. And this is why I believe the time has come for us to question our leaders in Grenada. I say to Grenadians, we have to ask Deacon Mitchell about Taraba State. They're killing Christians down there. And Deacon is the first political leader that I have heard about in the Caribbean in the last 50 or more years that visit Taraba State. Well, if Deacon visit Taraba State, and then you hear the killing Christian down there, and he has not said why he went there, what is the benefit, then you must be suspicious. And that is one of the reasons, a number of them, I ask if Deacon is a Muslim. I have a right to ask that. I'm a Christian. If they're killing Christian in Taraba State, and you visit Taraba State, and you have not expressed solidarity with the Christians that are being killed, and you have not held a press conference to inform Grenadians about the benefit of your visit, it is principally secret. We only knew that you were dishing out green bags because of the internet. Otherwise, we would not have known. So I believe it's a legitimate question. But since I do not believe I would have any opportunity to ask you that myself, I hope the photogenic journalist who has access to you would ask you about the situation in Taraba, southern Taraba, and the execution of Christians. Were you aware of it, Deacon? Did you give it your blessing? Deacon, are you a Boram Muslim? These are important questions that we must ask. You see, if we don't ask those questions, the government may not believe that we are interested, because the government policy is information based upon need to know. So they ain't telling you nothing. Anything you want, ask to know. And I know culture man don't know. If you know, you are telling me. Cousin Blash don't know. I ask the people around Cousin Blash. Even if he don't tell me, but the people around him, they tell me he don't know. Danley from Ticolot, he don't know. He concerned too about Deacon visit to Taraba State. So I think the only person who could help us is the photogenic journalist. She would have an opportunity close to Deacon and ask these questions. In a small country like Grenada, with 100,000 people, things could change fast. We are not partitioned by ethnicity. We are not partitioned by race. And a lot of the rich people in Grenada, they're poor. They just like to see the rich. They don't have money. Even though they have money, the children and their relatives don't have. And they're not in a position to help them. So the line of demarcation between our people is blurred. It's not clear at all. So what if it is easy if we adopt strange policy and we introduce violent phenomena in our country, it could affect us much quicker than countries with bigger population. Grenada is small. I was speaking to a Adventist pastor recently. We normally have a little discussion. And I asked him if he know anything about Sharia law. He looked baffled. So I encourage him to start to research and read up about it, because it can hit us faster than we believe. You might have heard that Deacon wanted to drop the age of civil responsibility to 12 years. And this has not contributed to a hue and cry in Grenada. People are not asking why. What is the problem with civil responsibility? Now, if you have a problem, sometimes you come with a solution. But you could be proactive and initiated challenge to address challenges that you expect to come. So we are asking, why is it was so necessary that Deacon and his team wanted to hurry this legislation in the dark of night? If you feel this legislation is important, one would believe that you want widespread consultation on it, because you're dropping the age of civil responsibility to 12 years old. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, my brother.
Yes. Pertaining to this age of consent, there was a situation in Somalia. As some people will know, Somalia is an Islamic country. And they've been abusing those little girls and them. So the government, I think sometime in October, they tried to raise the age of consent to 18 years. Mr. Pierre, I see big old men in their 70s crying and begging the Somalian government to bring it back to the age of what they've been using to abuse them little girls. They say, look, this is an Islamic country and it's Sharia law we have. You know, within 24 hours, the government end up bringing back the old law, giving them freedom to abuse little girls. I have a deep suspicion, Mr. Pierre, that this prime minister is a Muslim. And if he's not one as yet, then something has to be wrong with him. And to KJ, what did the scripture tell you? How can you be supporting such an evil individual? A man who carried out sins in the public. KJ, do you believe in Almighty God? A man who wants to abuse people's children, who wants to legalize the abuse of children, whereby it is only in Islamic country this kind of things are being carried out. KJ, the Bible tells you to have no relationship with the unfruitful workers of darkness. How can you be defending such evil if you claiming to be a man of God? I hear you challenging Mr. Pierre about the Bible. KJ, who is the God you're serving? How can you be supporting evil? You should be pointing it out to the Prime Minister that the things that he are doing isn't right. KJ, think hard, because you're going to pay the price too. Remember, there will be a day of judgment. And when the Messiah said, on that day, many will say, I heal in your name. I did many wonderful works in your name. I cast out demons in your name. And he said, then I'll say to them, I never know you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. Study the scripture carefully and see if what you are doing is the right thing by supporting such evil in this country. Have a good day, sir.
Yes, you see, I was even more disappointed that it was not a hue and cry in people asking what is the justification, what is the rationale, how necessary that is, and why sneak it in the heart of Carnival, in the dead of night. So the age of civil responsibility, deacons went after it. You see a number of things about deacon that have been recording down. He is interested in dropping the age of civil responsibility and asking why. And maybe some people in Grenada are so surprised that they seem to ignore it. But particularly the women in our country, because that should concern them the most. Because some of the men in the Islamic countries, they married very young wives. 9 years, 12 years. And they also claim that you could beat your wife and you could have 5. And that sometimes is a strong motivator for men to support that bill. Because let's face it. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
I share that gentleman. I just speak the views. I'm part of it too. There are some questions that KJ should be answering. I share that. And I hope he wants people to follow him. So I hope that he will be answering some of the questions. I'm concerned about that.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's really going on with this thing, you know. Somebody seems to be tying up somebody. News say that the Prime Minister still have a request on the board for immigrants coming into Grenada. And he have not answered that yet. He have not answered when they asked him to put the thing on the airport, and he ain't set up no committee, nothing to look at it. Look at these statements. Something is wrong. The Mr. Trump say that he is in charge of Venezuela, but he set up somebody from there to manage the place. Something is wrong again. If Trump is in charge, how come he set up somebody? No election, no. What about the persons that was there with the one in charge? How come Trump have the full authority on the place already? You ain't tried the man yet, and the man plead he's not guilty, but you in charge. Dominica agreed to take immigrants. Grenada said they not.
Immigrants from other countries?
Yeah.
Well, I said the Caribbean countries, they're missing every opportunity to take an opportunity. I believe very early, when Trump had this issue, they should have agreed to take back all the illegal immigrants. And that's the best thing you could do. But if Donald Trump wanted to take back somebody from another country, I wouldn't agree with that. But I'll even agree for CARICOM as a body to accept immigrants from CARICOM. Even if immigrants from Dominica come to Grenada, then Dominica could take back the immigrants from Grenada. So you take a CARICOM position, okay, but not immigrants from other countries.
I am not certain at all politicians, and I'm talking about elected politicians, are really sticking the truth to us.
The Prime Minister, Mr. Bridgman, we have said the Prime Minister line as when horse trotting. You know the Prime Minister line. What the Prime Minister say is not believable. You can't just believe the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is telling lies. And telling lies with great regularity.
And it still tells us that matters will be discussed with you when it's for you to know.
The Prime Minister just lying.
I thought we supposed to ask the Prime Minister questions, but why did he tell us when we go?
Well, he's arrogant, he's disrespectful, he incites violence, he's greedy, and he wants to turn billionaire.
Me. I have a right to ask you questions.
You don't understand. Why do you think we're asking on radio?
I don't feel safe.
You don't understand.
I don't feel safe.
And his supporters getting angry at us.
Yeah, but the Prime Minister will learn to answer more questions.
We have to continue asking.
And again, the people that are accused, that are in different boards and whatnot, that are being accused, gravel and concrete, there's somebody had to be fired there. We're not hearing those inquiries.
Well, the Prime Minister is the corrupt in chief. He fired the whistleblower that put the evidence in front of the table for him. He fired like that.
Yeah, and everything remains silent.
Well, it's most silent.
Where's the Ministry of Labour?
Well, the poor minister, you forget they fired the Labour Commissioner early. Yeah. You can't remember the public servant.
Before the person take up the job, they tell us he's a very intelligent person.
She was actually that. Yeah, they say she good.
Yeah.
But they want her to do what they want her to do. So they fire. Yes, Scholar, thank you.
I don't feel safe.
Yeah. I think we have to continue asking questions, and more people in Grenada have to show concern, because these things is going to affect the country. We're going to be affected for decades. Small countries like us in the Caribbean, there is no need for all this massive borrowing. The government is spending money as if they inherit it from a rich parents. They're squandering public funds. Somebody have to pay. It may not be now. We're dirtying the water for our children. We're roughing up the pitch for our children to bat on. Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, You call her and them doesn't listen. They didn't listen to the Prime Minister last night. They didn't hear what he said about the immigrants America want to send in Grenada. The man he said no already, and they still come back behind. The airport, the thing on the airport, he said, the time passed, so you don't do nothing about it. You say nothing, and you don't have to say nothing. Once the time passed, they can't put it again. That means no. You see they put it in Trinidad and Tobago, there's where you go. Stop here.
You satisfied with these answers in the Prime Minister?
Yes.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Go ahead. Once you're satisfied, let's go.
The time passed.
Let's go. We're satisfied, so let's go.
They can't put it again.
Yeah.
Because time passed. Let me tell you something. I listen to radio, I listen data, watching data and all kind of things. And I never see this kind of stupid thing either. We have our opposition leader. She don't know.
Colin, let me say something to you.
She's dumb.
Scholar, let me say something. What you're doing there is diversion tactics. Because honestly, the government is in power. We asking the government questions. And when we ask the government, you're going to the opposition leader. The opposition leader not in power. I promise you are going to do a program on the opposition leader. Yes, Scholar, welcome. You have a call?
To Mr. Pierre.
Yes, go right ahead.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you, my brother, and welcome.
I did not get to bat yesterday because
you wasn't on the playing field.
Late.
Yeah.
Today I know I'm not bullying you, but still.
Go right ahead.
I more or less want to ask you a question.
Go right ahead.
Now, when could it be the best time for me to come and let Grenadians know 10 basic reasons why we should not vote for Deacon again? When is a good time? Your program is too short. I don't want to.
Well, you could give us the thing about it is you could give us a few every day.
Oh,
that's another strategy. Every day you give us 2. Because sometimes it's difficult for people to take in 10 one time, but they could take in 2 a day.
Because
that's the option.
Some people might be easy to forget, so I want to remind Grenadians.
So that is why you give us 2 every day. About
the incompetency of this government and why we should not return them to power.
I would like that.
I realize KJ.
I forget KJ, man. You distracting your program. You have to give us 10. You got on KJ. See, that's the challenge.
I will start
from tomorrow.
I'll give you 10 basic reasons why.
Yeah. From tomorrow, call and give me 3. Right.
We don't have to. We should.
Tomorrow, call and start by giving me 3.
Okay.
Right? Tomorrow, start and call and give me 3. So we could we
should get
Yeah. Thank you, caller.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, caller, welcome. We lose that caller? Yes, caller? All right, we lost that caller. You see, we have to have discussions. And there are some fundamental things that are taking place in Grenada. And most of the NDC supporters, I think they're disappointed, they're embarrassed, and they're shocked. I genuinely believe that the traditional NDC, their party was hijacked from them. And they have the worst version ever of NDC. They're still trying to see if they could understand what's going on. Because none of the traditional voices, you're not hearing it. Those that are defending NDC on Facebook, they hide their face. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
You have MP in a protective program? You don't want nobody say nothing about that?
Caller, go ahead. Caller, you're wasting too much time. Go ahead.
Mr. Pierre, in the world where we live in today, that is the first time I witness we have our opposition leader in this country, and she don't have an opinion on nothing. She don't say nothing about what's going on in the world today. She real dumb. I never see that. Can you imagine Chavez, they arresting Chavez, they bring him back in America to try him. She don't have no opinion on that. In Grenada here, they want to put a base, radar base in Grenada here. She don't have no opinion on that. What kind of leader is that? What kind of football leader is that? I thought better. She spent all these years in politics and she don't have an opinion on nothing. Nothing at all in this country. Like, I could never believe this woman spent 9-point-something years in politics and she don't have no opinion at all on nothing. That's first-class stupidness. I never.
Yes, scholar. Finish? Yeah. I think the challenge is Deacon don't know what to say. So he want guidance from Emlyn Pierre. The decision is for Deacon. And that's why I tell you Deacon is a fake. And he hiding. When the US asks him question, writing months, he decide to play games and stay quiet. You know what to say. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, go right ahead. Right ahead, caller.
Mr. Pierre, I would like to say, since 2022, after the last election, Grenada is going on the back foot. Grenada can't go forward. Because when you have a leader with an incompetent team, right, doing all sorts of things, they dream about things, and they're thinking about what they dream, if it makes sense, if it makes no sense, and they come in and they do it. When you have a prime minister coming and saying information is on a need to know, right? When if that means it's not important of having giving that information to the public, right? Is when they feel or when they need to give out information, they go come and give out information. When you have a prime minister in bed with people committing corruption every day, and he said that's not a problem. When the person who reported corruption is taking place, what he doing? He getting rid of them and telling them, I give you a work. So when you see corruption taking place, you just have to shut your mouth. When you have the prime minister going in the UN and saying that the people of Haiti we are all one Caribbean, and even the people of Haiti need, right? The Caribbean people leaders should reach out and help them. And shortly after the prime minister came out from that meeting, what happened? There was some Haitian that was on the way to Grenada. What did the prime minister did? He sent them back. So the prime minister is the one that's speaking things when he see people around him that sound good. What he is doing is totally opposite, right? Because when you have again, Mr. Pierre, the prime minister saying, I will always say that, and I will continue saying it, if that would be the road match, that the only reason why the other side getting the work, getting a worker, getting assistance from the government, because the real NDC don't know who is the NDC, and the NDC and they're only fighting for themselves, and they're not fighting for the real NDC, so the government could reach out.
Yes, caller, that is caller.
So
thank you, caller. Caller, that is some powerful pointers, and I'm in full agreement with you. Thank you for the day. And I'm going to elaborate on the last one, because I think the last one is very important. And I did not hear a hue and cry in Grenada. The prime minister went on a public platform, and what he was telling his supporters, don't help them NNP. He said the only reason NNP getting help is because they don't know who the real NDC is. Because even the people who vote for them, they fired 31 workers from Granby Estate. It took them more than a year that they realized 19 of those that they fired was strong NDC supporters. So they bring back 20. I don't know, maybe some NNP was in doubt with one. They closed down the department that deals with the cotton scale insect that affects saucer. They had about 10 or 12 people in it. They brought back about 3, maybe a year and months after. Color, you correct. They closed down the farmers, 22 farmers in Maribor. They cut off the water from these farmers because one of the main farmers, they say, turned green. But if you think that is bad, and that's why I say NDC is like a disease. Every time they come in power, they get worse. Oma, they started to do a bathroom and toilet from Oma. When they dig the foundation, the neighbors must tell them, Oma say she don't voting for them again. Now they used to call Oma Miss NDC, a militant individual. They say she is Miss NDC. But they found out that she must have said she not voting for them again. So they discontinued the project. After about 2 months, Oma complaining because mosquito go kill her. Because the hose full up with water in she back door. She stopped Tillman Thomas on the road. Tell her he can't help her. That is how I get involved. I find this thing was so embarrassing and shameful. I did not want to come on the radio and speak about it. So I went to the NDC office. It's the first time in my life I enter a political office. And I spoke to the people there. And I must say they was respectful and they did everything possible to help me. And when I visited, they start back the work. But they decide to make Oma suffer. So if they continue at the pace they're continuing, she might get the bathroom and toilet in December 2026. Now, based upon the topography of the land, to go in the pit toilet when rain falling is a nightmare. Oma is over 70. She already fall on 2 occasions trying to access her toilet. She make me take pictures as she foot everything. I believe the individuals that is involved there, the cruel. I think they let Deacon make them evil. I don't know how you could have had to do that. The woman track record, she has supported NDC all her life. She started when Marcel Peters turned. So maybe she was a NNP or a GULP and she went with Marcel Peters when Marcel Peters turned NDC. 70-year-old. She walking with a stick. And they say, let she sit down and wait. So I went in the office, so they make a little, but the higher authorities maybe, because they say, let them starve. I have difficulties with that. I have real difficulties with that. When you reduce this government assistance and you go after the poor of the poor, and Oma don't have clout, she don't have big family to speak for. But Tillman Thomas should have opened his mouth because he knows her. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. And that is why I believe Deacon Mitchell is evil. he tried to evoke the dead. He seems to be a consummate liar. Every chance he gets, he tells lies. You talk about the Haitian, and I agree with you, Color. Everything you say there, I agree with you. Mislead, deceive the Haitians. 15 of them come. And I was informed that it could well be that those who come were professionals. Because he wasn't moving around with both. And after that incident, I had to speak on the radio about some Haitians that contractors were treating badly here. One of them thanked me, Come and thank me. He said the contractor paid them after I spoke about it on radio. So Deacon is evil. Culture man, you know Omar. Go and speak on their behalf. When you call Lego, a number NNP call and they express sympathy with you. Omar was one of all, you know. Culture man, go in the NDC office and speak out for Omar. I want to hear you that. We speak out for Jojo and they help Jojo. But I think what happened, a lot of supporters of NDC, they don't realize that they are just being used. NDC don't consider them in the same class with them. They see them as classless and commoners. Culture man, go and find out about that case. I call on Dennis Cornwall, but you won't get information from me. The most information you get from me is on the radio. But I want him going to ask Tillman Thomas, who is Omar, because Tillman knows. During the 1995, during the 2008-2013 period, the NDC did the same thing with the elderly. They removed a number of them from the seed program. And there were people who went to Tillman Thomas and begged him, and he put some of them back. Even the girl that used to walk with a white cane, she went to Tillman Thomas too, and he put her back and she hugged him in the street. At first she glad. But it appears this time, Tillman Thomas, his heart get hard as lobby rock. So maybe he believe now that he no longer a peasant. He dey in deacon privilegencia class. And they see Omar as a commoner. And I believe we must speak about these things. Because it's going to deteriorate. If we don't speak about it, you don't want the next political party come and do that? What is going to happen to our country? If the government sharing bread, but the government only sharing bread for those that real yellow. Culture man, do they consider you as real yellow? Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, it is there.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Is there something on your honor that you don't hear about some of the supporters?
You're very low.
Very low.
Yeah.
They don't care about some of their supporters. And I realize what you say is true. Are you hear me now? Huh? Yeah.
You're standing up. Either put the phone near your mouth or something.
All right, good. So now they said that you said earlier on
that better.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about some of their supporters. Right? Now, what you say is true. I remember having a conversation with some of the ministers that would want this under the NDC. And I told them that they had a problem with Andre. So I said to them, better you buy a spot on Andre station, monthly, weekly, or daily, and bring across your views or your points of what the government is doing. And they said to me that Andrew is a big NNP, they will never go there. So I'm surprised to see that they have KJ calling to do the dirty work while they sit back and watch him do it. So I believe that, if they're really serious, they'll come by a spot on Andrew Station and bring across their views or their ideas or their plans for the constituency. Instead of sending KJ, who to me, they don't really care about him because they sit him back and let him do it. And he's getting all the embarrassment and he's still doing it. So I don't know if he can smell the coffee. But I'm saying that if the minister that took my advice years ago, he might have been in a better position right now. Have a nice day, sir.
Yeah, I think the NDC is trying to control the media by financial strangulation. They realize most of our journalists in Grenada are poor people. And journalism don't really make money in Grenada. So some of the journalists that they might consider as a favorite in their pocket, they would give them assistance. But for Real FM, they cut out all the programs that the statutory bodies had. They would cut it out. And some of their strong supporters, they encourage not to advertise with the program. So what they're trying is financial strangulation. So somebody like me on the radio, they decided at $9,000, the Minister of Agriculture decided I shouldn't get that. Although I was qualified under the burial program. And they was giving out 5 bags of manual, they said no. And Deacon has corrupted the Public Service Commission. So he has decided if your spouse is active in a political party, you should not work with the public service. And I ask some members of the public service, one of the names that would come readily is Jim Alexander. Would you employ Tafawa Pierre children in the public service? And I believe you are the best one to face that issue. Because your whole family, just as Tafawa Pierre family, was in the public service. And they was proud to work in Grenada. And they encouraged their offspring to stay in Grenada. So now that you have taken that position, would you, what you say now to the children and the siblings' children of Tafawa Pierre? And how would you feel later on when that is said to your children? You see, a lot of fundamentally evil things is taking place in the country. It's not financial corruption alone. You have the financial corruption in the Grenada Development Bank, Gravel and Concrete, National Lottery, the Public Service Commission. I mean, this one is one that the union should be concerned about, because the unions have 2 representatives in the Public Service Commission. The teachers have 1 and the public servants have 1. I have had my medical health insurance squashed by the Public Workers Union. They said to me that they changed a service provider and they couldn't find me. I've never heard this one. But they continue to collect my money. So I have some money to go and collect by the public service. The Public Workers Union have not gone back there yet to collect it. So they continue to collect my money, but they remove me from the insurance, health insurance. And if you say to me you can find me, my first question would be, why not inform the people that giving you my money how to find me? Did you make a publish a newspaper if he was looking for me? I know I'm difficult to find because I'm quite on a radio station up in the north. And these tongue people and them don't have much stomach for people in the north. But you could have asked if the institution where you getting my money from, where I am. Because I've not changed my address for the last 1,000 years. So this is the influence. It's an evil influence Deacon has used to corrupt institutions in Grenada. When your country deteriorates, it don't happen overnight. And you can't blame the government alone. Because you have a number of people that watch it deteriorate. There are a number of other issues that people who have personal assistance. One guy called me to his home. The NDC started to do some work on his house. But they found out that he wrote something on Facebook that was negative against the government. So they pick up the rest of material and they leave him. I visited, but I tell him, don't bother, man. I say, in the first place, you shouldn't even get a house. Because you didn't have a house. After burial, you didn't have a house. But they gave you because they thought you was a staunch member. But something he wrote on Facebook. So as a result of that, they discontinue. I have never heard that in my life. I mean, if you didn't start with something, but you start, but you take the rest of material and you go. I've always chastised people in the diaspora. When Maurice Bishop was reaping havoc in Grenada, jailed 5% of the population, jailed the Rastafarians, castrate Broco, killed the woman from Broadgrove and others, that the people in the diaspora never stood up for Grenadians. You could have said Grenadians afraid to talk. Over 3,000 people, Maurice Bishop signed the order to jail them. But you who was in America, you had a voice. You support Bishop in the evil. And you let Grenadians suffer. And some of you doing the same thing again. You then party gallivanting with Deacon. Deacon is the corrupt in chief. He is evil. A compulsive liar that causing division in our country. And I believe that people should nudge him and say, no, chief, this is too much. Don't do that. I believe that. I believe we can help Deacon. He has not been in politics long, and he does not understand the negative consequences of his action. He would regret it someday because there are negative consequences. If you dismantling the economic discipline, the discipline that is put in place to manage the economy, you are so unproductive that you can't even speak about productivity. And you legalizing illegality. Then you go have corruption, the rippling effect going to take place in the country. It's going to take years to correct it. It's going to take years. And maybe our children would have to pay for it. We can't blame people. We constantly sit down looking for people to blame rather than addressing the challenges that we have, correcting our leaders, bringing it to their attention, because sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they over-exuberance to get some things done. They're making mistakes. So we have to point it out to them. And thank God for the free media. Look at the people in Venezuela, how they're dancing and celebrating. Venezuelans all about, well, obviously, Venezuela is a big country, maybe about 30-something million people. So if 8 million people run, that doesn't mean Maduro don't have a lot of people supporting him. But if 8 million people have to flee your country, then obviously that's a lot of people. And that shouldn't happen. CARICOM leaders who had allegiance to Maduro should have told him, you can't do that. You jailing you too much people in jail. 400 and something people murdered in demonstration. That is too much. Over 18,000 people tortured. Mia Mockley, Ralph Gonzalez, and the other leaders should have said to Maduro, the things we hearing, to what extent it is true. How much people you have in political prisoners? How many political prisoners you have? Why don't you free up the press so you have independence of the media? Just as our brothers and sisters in Cuba, 60 years after the Cuban Revolution that they like to speak about, thousands of people in jail. People dying in prison. And Grenadians only saying, Cuba help us. At what price? What price ordinary Cubans pay for the help they give Grenada? You don't care? You don't care that you have thousands of Cubans in jail? Thousands of Venezuelans in jail for them to trust you oil? That you owe over $300 million for oil? You're living above your means. You're burying your people in debt to propagate an evil ideology. And we have to speak about it. Yes, we have to pay a price. I realize once you open your mouth with these left-inclined people, you're going to pay a price. But we must be prepared to pay the price so we could bring the truth in tongue. What is in tongue? There is truth. When here we're speaking about Deacon, that is truth. That is why Deacon, the apologists and the politicos, they could only come up with personal attacks. They cannot answer the questions because they know we're speaking the truth. And I encourage people to inform yourself with the truth. Do research. Listen to them and come up with pointers to help them to turn away from their evil ways. We are a small country. If we do that, we're mashing up the communities, the villages. We're causing divisiveness. I tell you, when I watch Oma Condition, if I had tears like Obama, I would have shed one. But I don't like to see man cry. I don't like to see man cry. It breaks my heart to know Tillman Thomas walk away from a disciple like that. You know? And I would encourage Culture Man. Culture Man, go and beg for her. I went, but they don't pay much attention to me. But you know how good culture. So go and beg for her. And that is the end of our program today. Again, we encourage you to subscribe to our program, share and like our program. That the best you could do for Real FM at this time is to subscribe to the programs that Real FM have. We're struggling to get our people to subscribe. Some people say NNP we're speaking about. NNP members don't even subscribe. This low subscription that we have He mean NMP members don't even subscribe into the program. We back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1, and you have another opportunity to punch. Thank you.
When the clock hits 12, you know where to be. Turn it up, Real FM, ride the frequency.